Greetings, everyone. Welcome to Atlas's Rock. This is the first episode that I will be publishing to my channel, and I just wanted to give a little brief introduction of what you will be expecting to see on here and a little bit about myself. So to start with, what to expect from my channel. There's certain things that I very much have enjoyed in my life, and one of them is Pokemon. Now, I am a 90s kid, and I grew up collecting Pokemon, playing Pokemon games, and that was something my brother and I used to bond with each other. And even now, 20 something years later, him and I both enjoy collecting cards and playing card games. Even though we have graduated to a different league, Magic the Gathering, I still enjoy collecting Pokemon as well. So you'll be seeing a lot of pack openings on here and me talking about different cards that I have pulled and cards that I have in my collection. Through all the videos that I have watched of other content creators with Pokemon and Magic the Gathering pack openings, a lot of them are time consuming, and I don't know if you're like me or not, but I want to see the good juicy stuff. So that is what I'm going to be providing to you. Also, I enjoy slot machines, so if you like to watch big hits and people spend a lot of money on slot machines, feel free to come watch my channel. I once heard a little phrase about gambling from one of my old mentors in my life, and he said that gambling is a tax for stupid people. And sometimes when I win, I completely disagree, and when I lose, I 100% agree with him. So hopefully we will be seeing me win more than losing, and I'll give you little tips. I've been gambling my entire adult life. I grew up next to a Native American reservation, and that's just something that I've always enjoyed. So to get to the cool stuff, my first episode here, I kind of wanted to walk through a little bit of my collection, and these are items that I have attained over the last 5 years. Currently, I'm active duty in the United States Navy. I'm an IT, so I'm a huge nerd, and part of my life that helps me deal with the heavy stress and workload of being an active duty Navy personnel, I collect cards. I don't know if a lot of you know, but on ships, a lot of us play Magic the Gathering. Specifically, the format I play is Commander, and we can get into that on another episode. But these are some of the things that I have collected. I've picked up these things in Australia, Singapore, Malaysia, Kingdom of Bahrain. Currently, I'm in Japan, and I've picked up a lot of cool Japanese cards. It is a childhood dream for me to be here in Japan and seeing the birthplace of just Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! And just these amazing items of culture that, has helped me with my creativeness and my joy of collecting shiny things. So let's get into it. First, we're going to start with a little bit of my Pokemon collection. Now, as a kid, I really enjoyed the first base set, and when I first got into collecting Pokemon, I wanted to start by getting older cards, and that is what I did. I started buying older cards, and I started pretty much trying to relive my childhood. And one thing I discovered was it wasn't really something that brought me that much joy, because I did get the cards that I've always wanted, but it wasn't anything new, right? And I began to realize that even though these things were very important to me when I was a kid, I'd rather just get cards that I find are very cool and pretty and make me happy, rather than just trying to get a collection of everything that was old and I thought was really cool, which it is very cool. However, it's not something that brings me as much happiness as collecting and opening packs and just finding that shiny piece of gold in that pack that's $3.99, and you dig through them and your fingers hurt from opening all those packs. And another thing, right, like gambling, pack opening is somewhat of a gamble. You do not always know what you're going to get. And the items I just showed you right here, every single one of them except for this Mew, which is Japanese, by the way. What a beautiful artwork. Being in Japan, I've noticed that the card quality on Japanese Pokemon cards are better. Some people may disagree with that. However, in my personal experience and the cards that I've seen, these Japanese cards are next level. And I very much appreciate the hard work and dedication that goes into making sure that the product that Pokemon is putting out is quality. But all these cards you see right here that I've been briefly showing you while I've been talking are all cards that I have pulled from packs. Also, full disclosure, right? I have a lot of tattoos. You'll be seeing my hand in a lot of these videos. If any of you are fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, you will recognize my knuckle tattoos. And if you aren't fans of Avatar: The Last Airbender, well, you should be. All right, and then also I have a little koi fish. I have a whole bunch of other tattoos. If anyone has any questions about my tattoos later on, feel free to. I got tattoos before the Navy. I got tattoos in the Navy. Most countries I've been to, I get a tattoo in that country as a little souvenir I can keep on my body. So if anyone has any questions about that, just type in the comments. You know, I'm very open. If you want to know the meaning behind these tattoos, I'm completely okay with that. I am an open book. So, like I said earlier in this video, I also am a big collector of Magic the Gathering. Actually, I'm probably more into Magic the Gathering than I am into Pokemon. I've recently stumbled back into Pokemon a little heavier than Magic, but I still love me some Magic the Gathering. As you can see, if any of you are into Magic the Gathering, what I just pulled out was very expensive cards, right? Who doesn't love buying expensive cardboard? I know I do. Also another thing, I do have a slight speech impediment. I am trying my best. So if you hear me pronounce certain words in a way that is not supposed to be how they're pronounced, that is something that I just have. So it's funny or not, you know, it's up to you, but I'm okay with it. So first off, all right, going into dual lands. Dual lands are very old Magic cards, right? And they're very useful Magic cards. These are what you call lands, right? So if you do not know anything about Magic Gathering, I'm going to give you a brief history behind it, right? Or a brief description. I've been playing since 2018. I started playing when I was stationed out in Bahrain. I was there for 2 years, and I started getting into that with some fellow ITs. And since then, it is now 2022, soon to be 2023. I have dived deep into the rabbit hole of Magic the Gathering, and this is just something I have found great joy in, and I hope to bring that joy to you as well. So, dual lands. Why are they cool? First of all, who doesn't love the white borders? Some people will hate me for this, but I love white borders, right? You can really find it in older cards. I love the simple but beautiful artwork, right? So this dual land, and by the way, these are all revised. I am not rich. I will not be buying alpha nor beta set dual lands. No, thank you. Maybe one day. This is a dual land. It's called Tropical Island. It taps for green and for blue. And if you look, right, we have that little tap symbol. You don't really see that on newer cards nowadays. Going into the description of the card, right, it counts as both forest and islands. and is affected by spells that affect either. If a spell destroys one of these land types, this card is destroyed. If a spell alters one of these land types, the other land type is unaffected, right? But why are these cool, right? So if you were into Magic the Gathering or have a little knowledge behind it, a lot of lands that you see are lands that will come in like a mountain, right? So you have a mountain, you play it, you're allowed to play one land per turn, and you can play a mountain and immediately tap it for red, and you can use that red mana to cast a spell. Beautiful, right? There's nothing wrong with just a basic mountain or a basic swamp or a basic island. If you are beginning your adventure into Magic the Gathering, do not spend money that is unnecessary to spend. If this is just like a hobby you want to do with your friends, and I recommend, as someone who has spent a lot of money on cards, to just have fun, right? Don't worry about the big expensive stuff. Let content creators like myself get all these expensive cards and let us show them to you, right? Because they are pieces of cardboard, but to me, they're also pieces of art, and that is kind of how I think about it, right? So that's why I have it in this thick plastic case, which another lesson I hope my viewers can learn from watching my channel is take care of your stuff, right? Everyone in the 90s who grew up when Pokemon and Magic came out, a lot of people got their cards and we were kids. And the first thing we wanted to do was take it out, show our friends, get our greasy little fingers on them, bend them, play with them. I didn't even know you could sleeve cards, right? Until much later in my life, I found out about sleeves. So, a little story. My brother and I were playing with our Pokemon cards, and we thought it would be a genius idea to take our Pokemon cards and bury them in the backyard. Because to us, right, the Pokemon cards were treasure. And so we proceeded to gather all our Pokemon cards that our parents spent their hard-earned money on to provide for us. And we put them in a plastic bag, and we buried it. But like kids, right? No kid is that patient. So I believe we waited like a day or two. But during that time, that day or two, we definitely had a little bit of rain. And we went out to the backyard, dug them up, and they were more or less fine except for the dirt and mud mixture that was encased all over them. And was it worth it to bury our cards for 2 days? To pretend it was treasure and we were pirates? Maybe it was to us as kids, but to me as an adult, I cringe at the idea. And I know if you watching had cards as a kid, right? Everyone loves to say, oh man, I had that base set Shadowless Charizard and it was a first edition, and I had a first edition this, first edition that, which I don't know if we actually knew what we had when we were kids. Maybe some of us did, but I knew I didn't. And now that I try to remember things about my collection as a kid, I am horrified to realize what I did with my collection. And now I'm a huge advocate for protecting your cards, right? A basic sleeve you can get. I recommend Dragon Shield. I know they're a little pricier, right? But Dragon Shield, tough sleeves, fit well, especially for Magic the Gathering cards, because Magic the Gathering cards are different sizes than Pokemon cards, right? There's certain sleeves you want to get for Pokemon cards, certain sleeves you want to get for Magic cards, right? And if you go to your local game store, your LGS, just ask them, right? If you don't know, it's like, just ask them and be like, hey, I'm looking for some sleeves for my cards. It is a Pokemon card. Do you have any recommendations? There's a whole bunch of different sleeves that you can buy with various prices, but in the long run, it is a smart idea to protect what you bought, right? We always want to, especially as a collector, you want to protect your investment. And it's just a good habit to take pride in what you own, right? So moving on to some cool Pokemon cards. Like I said, I am currently in Japan, and I'm going to go over these cards here real quick, and then we'll wrap this up because I don't want to be taking all your time. But if you've made it this far into the channel, into the episode, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. I'll be posting things here and there. I'm also very new to this, as you can probably tell, and I don't have all the setup, but I do plan on getting a better setup. If you have any recommendations, please post a comment, and I will read them all and get back to you. I appreciate, anything that you can provide that will be helpful. So back to the content, right? So here is a Flareon. Now, everyone loves the Eevee evolutions. I know I do, right? We got a little Umbreon in the back there. Fun fact, you will see I have a Lugia and Umbreon. As you can see, I'm tattooed. Is it just my hand? No, it's my entire body. I am rather tattooed, and I actually have Umbreon and Lugia tattooed on me. So they are my favorite Pokemon. Everyone has their favorite Pokemon. Mine happened to be an Eevee evolution and a really cool Pokemon, Lugia over there. I mean, I remember watching it in one of the earlier Pokemon movies, and when they introduced Lugia, I lost my mind. So, back to it, right? So, Flareon, it's holographic. If you are looking to use different terminology, right? Magic the Gathering, right? They're both shiny, right? Look at that, both shiny, shiny, shiny. This is holographic. This is foil, right? Sometimes in the nerd world with cards, we have people that are a little, I guess you would say, snobby. And I remember when I got into Magic, I was like, oh man, that's a cool foil card. Wow. And, or a holographic card, excuse me. And I was immediately corrected. And I was like, no, this is foil. And I'm like, what do you mean? What's the difference? There is no difference, right? And if you think there is a difference, please comment below and explain it to me. But holographic, foil, pretty sure they're both shiny, right? So, cool little Flareon. It's all in Japanese, right? I'm actually part of a community on Facebook, Japanese Pokemon Collectibles. If you're looking to sell your cards or trade cards, this is a great place. I've had very good experiences with that. We got a holographic Jolteon. Love Jolteon. Doesn't get as much love as the other Eevee evolutions, but love Jolteon. I just met a person today that Jolteon is their favorite Eevee evolution. I've actually never met someone that loved Jolteon that much. The beautiful Vaporeon. We love Vaporeon. What a cute Pokemon. I love water types. Water types is my favorite type, right? I have a Gyarados, a Magikarp, and a Blastoise tattooed on me as well. Just love water types, always have. My first choice from the base set for my starter, you guessed it, Squirtle. Love Squirtle. Great card, great artwork. Here's a couple Charizard that just came out in the Ultra Premium Collection. Actually, in Japan, they're releasing this in a set. I don't know the name, but if you want to comment the name, feel free to. There's a lot of information kept up, but I'm not as knowledgeable as everyone else. I just really enjoy learning, right? So I have no problem learning from my viewers, and as I get better, I make better stuff. That's how I feel about most things in my life. So cool little Charizard V-Star. We got Mewtwo, Charizard, duking it out, always having a great time. And then we have this Charizard VMAX, which I feel it kind of gives off like Godzilla vibes. And I'm very much down with that. But is also my least favorite artwork out of the Ultra Premium Collection release of the Charizards. There's also another one, but I sold that one. One of my buddies wanted it, and I have no issue providing him with something he wants, right? That's another reason I enjoy selling cards, because the amount of joy it brings people to have something cool like that. I mean, you can go out and buy expensive things, but just like finding that thing that makes you happy, right? I like to see the smile on people's faces when they get cards. I like selling cards for cheap to parents so they can get Pokemon cards for their kids, because Pokemon cards are expensive, and I basically give it away, essentially. And it makes me happy, right? As someone who couldn't afford a lot of things, I like being able to provide that service for others. So we have a cool little Charizard here. We have not Charizard, Gyarados, my bad. Cool little Gyarados here. We got Misty's Gyarados. Really cool. And like I said, I picked these up from a fellow Pokemon card enthusiast on the Japanese Pokemon collectible page on Facebook. So if you want to check it out, go on ahead. You know, might be able to find some cool stuff. If you have any questions on groups, Team Rocket Scare this was really cool. If you have any question about groups to join on Facebook or whatever to find cards, it's something that I enjoy. And Moltres, little cool holographic Moltres here. I believe it's Blaine's Moltres. I believe that's who he is. If you're into that, you know, let me know and I'll try my best to give you the knowledge that I currently already have. We have cool little Zapdos here. Gotta love Zapdos. Getting into some newer Pokemon cards. We have this secret Arceus V-Star. I believe it comes from... What set was that? Same set as the Charizard. Brilliant Stars? I believe it's Brilliant Stars. There's so many sets. They've been pushing things out. And that's another thing I want to talk about in another video is the amount of sets that Wizards of the Coast have been pushing out for Magic the Gathering. I know a lot of people have been talking about it, but that's a lot of sets. And I know, you know, you're trying to make your money. And, I mean, the artwork's phenomenal. So I can't be too mad, and I'm not mad. But I am curious onto if it is smart in the long run to be dropping as many sets as they are now. Before we end this, I'm going to try and make each of my videos about 25 minutes in length. Gives you, you know, if you're on a lunch break and you want to watch something and just look at cool cards, or just hear me talk. That's something we can do. And if you have any advice on anything you want to see related to Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, or even slot machines, right? I do like that. Blackjack. Who doesn't like blackjack? Let me know in the comments, right? This is a kind of a test trial run. So something I've always wanted to do and never really got into it, but I am now. So I would love to hear what you have to say. Cool card right here, Tolarian Academy. Fun fact, totally banned in Commander for obvious reasons, right? It is a land. We talked a little bit about lands earlier. So this land, right, comes into play. And first thing you want to do is you tap it, right? That's the symbol for tapping. And when you tap this land, it adds a water, right, blue to your mana pool. I don't know why I said water. I'm getting Pokemon and Magic mixed up here. Blue, island, water, right? All the same thing. Add a blue to your mana pool for each artifact you control. Now, if I have 30 artifacts on the field, I just tap this thing for 30 blue, right? So there's a reason this got banned in Commander, obvious. Another really cool card that is fortunately not banned in Commander is Gilded Drake, right? I actually have two Gilded Drakes. I have a Japanese Gilded Drake and I have a English Gilded Drake. I use the English one in my Urza Lord High Artificer deck. Oh my gosh, he has a Urza Lord High Artificer deck. Mono blue. That's crazy. He's so original. I know. I hate myself. Moving on. Gilded Drake here. Great card. When it enters the battlefield, you basically exchange it with another card on the field. Another permanent. And you can have it there. I can actually read the verbiage to you on another video because I'm going to be making a video about my Urza Lord High Artificer deck. I'm not one of those people that can word for word remember things. I constantly have to read my cards. That is something I have to do. So if you are like me, I'm sorry. If you're not like me, congratulations. So, Urza Lord High Artificer, it's one of my more expensive decks. We'll get into that. Beautiful deck. As you will see it later on from my Magic collection, I'm very much into the foil and borderless and extended art and showcase. And I like, you know, will I spend $20 extra for that 30-cent card version, but it's the $20.30 card version? For sure. Of course. If it's a beautiful art, I'm going to get it. But yeah, so that's some of the content you'll be seeing here. We'll be going much deeper into these types of things a little bit later. But if there's anything you want to see or any questions you have, like I said, this is kind of a trial run, and let me know in the comment section. Appreciate it, and thank you for watching my channel.